Evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Carpediashow. Got this news coming from Autoblog. Actually, got this article yesterday, but I was covering the Tesla new plant that they're building in Tennessee. So I waited a day on this. Wanted to go ahead and see if I got some other sources for this to go ahead and confirm this. I've seen a few articles that posted this. This really looks like what's going to happen. Um, I don't know if you guys been noticing, but Toyota is basically phasing out their 8-cylinder engines. And the Lexus LS 500 is no longer powered by V8. Since the dawn of the LS, it's always been dominated by its smooth V8 engine, and Toyota actually switched to a twin turbo V6. And since the Lexus has a 6-cylinder now, Toyota doesn't have a basis for their truck engines. A lot of people don't know Toyota truck engines are loosely based and are in the same engine family as the Lexus LS 400. The UZ series, was the original V8 that came to Tundra from 2000 to 2006. It's loosely based on the LS 400 UZ series. Of course, it's beefed up for truck duty and things of that nature. Lower compression, so it can run an 87. It's a less stressed unit. But in here, Toyota recently, on February 18th, as a matter of fact, they went ahead and applied on a U.S. patent and trademark for the name Iforcemax. Since the Tundra came out in 2000 into the 2006 model year, the 4.7 liter was deemed the Iforce. That was the terminology. It's an Iforce V8. When the next generation Tundra came out in 2007, the 5.7 liter, that carried on the Iforce engine name in 4.7, just like the mid-grade engine. If someone wanted to save a little bit on fuel, they didn't need the bigger engine and tow heavy trails of that nature. And that engine, I own one. Plenty of people have put over 1 million miles. There's at least 8 trucks with over 1 million miles on the engine. When it came out in 2007, I don't know if a lot of people remember this, but it offered 80 more horsepower than Ford, 40 more than Ram, and 20 more than Chevy. It was the most powerful engine, and it had more torque than any other engine in its class. In fact, when the 07 Tundra came out, it was actually more powerful than the 10-cylinder and the 6.0 liter from General Motors. If you wanted a V8, there was no other truck engine more powerful. I know you've probably seen the commercials when the truck came out, truck that's changing everything. The problem with that, simply, the truck was designed as a heavy-duty unit. Fuel economy was never in the minds of Toyota when it came to building this engine. It's a very efficient engine, dual overhead cam, variable valve timing, 2-to-1 header, all of that, everything you need to make a very efficient power plant in terms of making power. Fuel economy was never a big concern. Even when you look at the weight of the Tundra, a fully loaded Crew Max is a 5,900 pound truck. That's almost 1,000 pounds more than the competition. And then when you throw in the fact that these trucks have almost 12 inches of ground clearance, they tend to not get the best fuel economy in the world. Toyota knew this. They've known this for a while. The recession came and went. They actually placed the Tundra development on pause. A lot of people don't know that. The 2014 Tundra that came out isn't technically a third generation. It's just a remake of the second generation. A little bit nicer interior, softer suspension, but still the same engine and transmission. So for basically 13 years, Toyota has been building the exact same engine, transmission in their trucks. That's why a lot of people who own older Tundras don't really feel the need to upgrade to the newer vehicles, especially since they've been decontented with a lot of features that originally got us to purchase the vehicles. Well, everybody knows the success Ford has had for their twin turbo V6, their EcoBoost technology. Forget what people say about the reliability and all that. They were pretty stout engines. Of course, with any Ford, you're always going to have a little bit of quality control issues, but for the most part, the 3.5 liter EcoBoost is a very strong unit. Ford used it to race in Baja. They even use it in their Ford GT supercar, so it's a really stout engine, and in that car, it makes over 600 horsepower. So there's plenty of headroom in that. Well, that brings Toyota to where they're at now. They have no V8 to base their V8 off of. It's going to cost them hundreds of millions of dollars to revamp this V8 in an economy where emissions and saving the planet, people don't really like V8s. They're kind of frowned upon. So this Iforcemax, what people are thinking, and I'm gonna go ahead and put the article to you guys and post it before so you can read it, is the next Tundra is gonna have 450 horsepower and over 500 pound-feet of torque, which will be basically almost class leading. I think the Fords and the Platinum and the Raptors, they have like 510 pound-feet of torque. But as far as horsepower, it's basically right up there at the top. Now, what's really interesting is Toyota is going to go ahead and pair this with their Hybridsynergydrive gas electric hybrid system. So in stop and go traffic, idling at the job site, you're actually going to use the hybrid engine, no gas whatsoever. So people who are in situations where they are at the job site, they do a lot of extended idling. You know that's horrible for V8s. They drink a lot of fuel like that, or in steady state, low speed cruising or stop and go traffic. It's going to be an electric hybrid engine. We don't know how big the electric motors is. We don't know how big the battery is going to be. We're still not even sure if it's going to be a plug-in hybrid. I'm leaning more towards a plug-in hybrid simply because what technology they just introduced with the RAV4 Prime. And with that ability, I think that's what's going to take them over the 450 horsepower. So I think the 4.6 is going to stay. It's going to get the D4S technology to go ahead and bump it up, bring it around to where the 5.7 currently is in terms of horsepower. So I'm thinking that's probably going to have between 370 and 400 horsepower. But the top dog engine is going to be the 3.5 liter twin turbo V6. I don't know if you guys have ever driven any of the new LS500s. That engine is incredible. It is extremely smooth. It pulls, makes all of its torque down low, has a huge power band, which is great for towing heavy trailers going up and down. And when you're not using the turbos, it's basically just a V6, a 3.5 liter V6 off boost. So in terms of EPA ratings, it'll really help this truck in steady state cruising on the highway, and then the stop and go city mileage with the electric engine. There are rumors that Toyota set their goals at exactly 450 horsepower, 500 pound-feet of torque, but 30 miles per gallon combined. And for you to have a combined gas mileage of 30, that means that this truck has to get over 30 miles per gallon on the highway, at least 33, 34. And the city mileage has to be close to 30, because I think the split with the EPA is like a 60-40 split or something, mixed driving. But you know, hybrids always do better in stop and go traffic. So I really think it's probably get like low 30s in terms of fuel economy. Most likely, it's going to run the Atkinson cycle. There's a lot of things in the air, but I really think Toyota's going to bring a 3-engine tier. I think they're going to go ahead and bring Tacoma V6 for the fleet customers, the single cab trucks. They're going to bring the single cab back. And then for the majority of people, I really think the 4.6 liter is going to be there, you know, for the fleet guys who need to tow a trailer but don't want to burn that much gas. And like I said, it's going to be on par with the 5.7 in terms of horsepower. Not necessarily torque, but it will be there for the horsepower. And then the top dog, the Iforcemax. I think the Max will go ahead and symbolize it being a hybrid. And like I said, I have the article here, and this truck is going to come out in late 2021, probably a 2022 model. I know the truck has been delayed. I'm going to go ahead and post also some pictures of the spy footage of the vehicle. There's a lot of camouflage going on in the rear suspension of the truck, the rear half of the truck. So I think that's where the batteries are going to lay out. That way you have a better weight distribution over rear end. And I also think Toyota's going to go to an air ride rear suspension. The Sequoia has had it forever, so this is not something that's new to the chassis. But you know, I think I think that they might even do an independent rear suspension. Sequoia has an independent rear suspension. Um, I don't think they're going to go after the heavy duty market. I still think this is going to continue to be a half-ton truck, so they could get away with independent rear suspension. But I've heard air suspension is what's back there. It still might be a solid rear axle. I know Toyota, when it comes to reliability, they like simplicity over complications. So I'm leaning more towards a solid rear axle. I don't think it's going to be that huge Hino rear axle that they currently have, because that is a source of increased fuel economy. A lot of people don't know that a huge rear axle, you know, Tundra has the biggest rear axle of any truck in its class, requires more fuel to turn on the highway. You know, more gears, more parasitic drive loss, and things like that. So I don't think the axle is going to be as big. I don't think you're going to have a class 4 size axle. I think it's going to be more of like a class 2B axle, maybe a class 3. And that'll put it in line with like the heavy duty trucks. So with that being said, I want you guys to go ahead and look at it. And, you know, as it stands right now, they think it's going to have a 10-speed automatic. Because you know the LS, the LS has it, as well as the LC500 has a 10-speed automatic. So I'm gonna go ahead and push this link down for you guys. This is some really good news. This definitely is really the only Achilles heel in the Tundra. It's proven over and over again. It's a very reliable workhorse vehicle. The capabilities is there. It's just they've fallen behind a little bit on fuel economy compared to competitors. I don't think Toyota's going to bring a diesel to the engine. Diesel engine to the United States. I really think they're going to push their hybrid and their plug-in hybrid technology, because that's where people are going. They're concerned about emissions. They're concerned about the environment. So really interesting article. I'm going to go ahead and post it down for you guys, and you let me know what you see, and go ahead and let me know what you think about this. Do you think they should go hybrid? Do you think they should continue with the twin turbo? Do you miss the 5.7? You know, it's a tried and true workhorse. The 5.7 was designed initially for the 200 series Landcruiser for the Middle Eastern markets. It is a very robust and heavy duty engine. They just got the green light to put it in the Tundra. So it was actually a Landcruiser designed engine, basically to compete with the 4.5 liter twin turbo Landcruiser engine. So tell me what you guys think about this. I'm gonna go ahead and link this below for you guys. And like I said, I appreciate you guys checking into all my videos. I appreciate you interacting and commenting. I love all my subscribers. And you guys enjoy the rest of your day and have a good evening, okay?